This is Hockenheim. It could be time for a mini revolution. Hello and welcome to round 2 of the 2015 FIA World Rallycross Championship. With 1 round down and 12 to go across 4 continents, there's a long road ahead for the RX teams with guaranteed drama along the way. Round 2 sees us move to Germany and the historic Hockenheim ring situated in the Rhine Valley. The circuit has seen legendary racing in the past. The German fans may think they've seen everything here, but they are yet to experience World RX. Round 1 in Portugal was wet, very wet, and then it rained some more. But this is Rallycross, so nobody really cared, or at least they tried not to show it. The weather claimed early victims, including Anton Markland in his first event racing for EKS. The 2015 field is packed with international driving class, and after the Heat 4 qualifying cut-off, Solberg may have been top, but it would have been a brave man to pick a winner at this point. Semi-1 saw a great pass in the Joker by Markland Motorsport's PG Anderson, swiftly followed by a brave move by Andreas Backerud to reclaim the position. Semi-2 and the conditions had deteriorated further, not that it bothered Johan Kristoffersson. Driving his VW Team Sweden Polo, he timed his Joker to perfection and booked his place in the final. Some big names, Nitish, Timosyanov, Ekström and Heikkinen were now out of the running, demonstrating the depth of driving class in World RX this year. On to the final. Kristoffersson wasn't the fastest off the line. It was Frenchman David Genet in the Peugeot 208 who got the start of the weekend from the back row, only to get muscled out twice on the Joker lap exit. Solberg was leading, continuing his form from 2014, but it was Kristoffersson who was in the box seat, sat third, crucially with the Joker lap already under his belt. An advantage he exploited to the max, banging in impressive times lap after lap and taking his and Volkswagen Team Sweden's first ever World Championship win.
Yeah, fantastic for sure. I mean, we had a goal to win victories over the season, and to do it in the first race was just fantastic. My ambition is same when I went to Portugal, to first of all head to the semis, and then if we go through the semi, the final is just bonus. So try to keep as many points as possible and just stay out of trouble and survive the first 4 race weekends is my goal.
This is how they stand after round 1. Kristoffersson deservedly leads the pack, followed by Solberg and then Timmy Hansen, who had a good weekend, taking the final place on the podium. Well, that performance by Hansen, along with the 4th place finish by teammate Genet, sees Team Peugeot Hansen with a good lead at the top of the Teams Championship. The next 3 teams are tied on 29 points.
Compared with last year, we were more prepared. We had done some testing before. We didn't know exactly which level we had when we came to Portugal, but during the event we climbed up, and the drivers worked it well. They did it well, even if they had struggled some points in the race. They managed to do a good scoring, and in the end we had the 2 cars in the final, and that was one of our goals when we went to Portugal. It's really a good partnership between Peugeot and Hansen. It looked like in Portugal that we were right, and I hope it will look like that in the rest of the races also.
It's early days in all the championships, and with a mouth-watering season ahead, it's already shaping up to be a vintage year. Round 2 sees the return of Tanner Faust to World RX. The American is competing as a wildcard entrant again this season, and having previously won rounds in 2013 and 2014, he'll be a force to be reckoned with.
I'm really excited to be back, and I wasn't expecting to do this round of WRX, but it was when they added Hockenheim. It's an amazing venue, and to race Rallycross here in the legendary Hockenheim course was irresistible. It's unbelievably competitive, and to have still such a small final, it's a bloodbath trying to get into the final every time.
Only 8 people have ever won a round of the World Rallycross Championship, and they're all here this weekend. Hockenheim is also the debut round for JRM Racing. X Games legends Dave Mirra and Danny Way will be driving the Mini RX. The inclusion of the Mini mark to the paddock sees 6 different manufacturers represented in World RX. It will be very interesting to see how the new team gets on first time out. Coming up, we review the action from Heats 1 and 2, everything from Heat 3, It's crunch time in Heat 4. Who will make the semi-final cut? We've got the Supercar semi-finals live. We talk technical and find out what makes the RX machine so special. And we have the Supercar final live. Here's the track preview presented by Ion Cameras. On board with Liam Doran then. A couple of short pulls on the handbrake, loads the car up, ready for a launch in practice. And away from the line, it was very, very greasy there on the initial runs. You can see Liam tentative down standing water in turn 1, and then over the paint and onto the standard DTM track. Flat out now down towards the Sachs curve. We've seen an enormous amount of overtaking here. Liam being careful on the brakes, so wet at the time of this lap. Around the long left-hander on the gas, and look at the amount of opposite lock he has to put on. Through a left and then a right, and we've seen contact here. The car is heavily loaded to the front and to the side. Just a little tap can send you off. Round the tight right-hander, off the tar and onto the gravel. This is a 90-degree left-hander. The Joker lap splits left here. Liam takes the standard lap. And you can see again, handbrake turning the car in. The Joker lap's about to merge from the left-hand side. It's not much difference between them. Maybe a second longer on the Joker lap. Round to the right, being careful not to get on the throttle too early, because then it's into a left-hander and over the finish line with the wall very close on the right. Liam Doran welcomed Dave Mirra to the World Championship with a kiss off the line, but damp conditions at Hockenheim meant the RX field had to be on it from the start, and even seasoned RX pros struggled with the grip. Genet only lasted to turn 2 before a trip to the gravel trap handed Doran a lead he wouldn't relinquish, setting a fantastic time in the process. Meanwhile, Mirra ended his first Wild RX run in the wall. Portugal winner Johan Christophersen showed he can be ruthless even against his own teammate. Despite the contact, the two VW Sweden drivers ended Heat 1 in first and third. A good start to their weekend. Then things got really interesting. René Munich found the gravel trap on lap 1, leaving Timmy Hansen and Robin Larsson to show the Hockenheim ring what RX is all about. Larsson held on to second despite this contact with the wall. Danny Way got a great start on his Supercar debut. The regulars soon chased him down, but ran out of room on the brakes for the gravel section. Powles and Solberg the victims. Meanwhile, Toppy made a great pass at the Sachs curve to take the win from Sandstrom. On his return to World RX, Tanner Faust made it to turn 1 first, but came out last. PG Anderson and Andreas Backer had fought it out for the win, but despite a little more love from the wall, PG took the flag first. At the start of Heat 2, Dave Mirra forced a mistake from René Munich to take the win in his heat race, while Petter had it relatively easy, taking a lights to flag victory on his run. After an average start in race 3, an over-ambitious move from Markland on Timosyanov ended up taking out his former teammate Heikkinen. Not only did it ruin Toppy's race, but the stewards intervened and disqualified Markland from Heat 2 altogether. Race 4 saw the messiest opening lap of the day. Hansen hit Anderson at turn 1, Stoll hit Hansen at turn 2, and Anderson returned the favour. And at turn 3, Larsson hit Hansen, and it all ended in tears. When they finally crossed the line, it was Stoll who was out front. The final race of the day saw contact aplenty too. The VW Sweden drivers came off worse with punctures on both cars, leaving Liam Doran to take a brilliant win, and in doing so, sit atop the overnight table for the first time in a long time.
Ultimately, part of being a racing driver is you've got to try and deal with the lows, and I've been dealing with a lot of them. And I got used to it, and, you know, I looked at today that, you know, if it goes wrong, take some risk and push as hard as I can, and we'll play with the setup a little bit, depending on weather conditions for tomorrow. I think for tonight, to be honest, we're going to stop and go and get dinner and enjoy some highs, because they don't happen very often.
Liam Doran at the top of the standings after Heat 2. David Genet in second and Rainis Nitish is in third. Just inside the semis, Timo Timozianov, just outside Topi Heikkinen.
So we are here at Volkswagen's Markland Motorsport team, and let's see if we can catch up with some of the drivers. Over here we've got PG Anderson. He looks busy. PG, how have heats 1 and 2 been?
It's been okay, a bit difficult. The second heat was okay until the third corner. I stalled the car with the handbrake and lost about 6-7 seconds in the heat. Apart from that, it's been okay, but very, very difficult.
What are your expectations now going into heat 3?
It's drying up. Hope to set a good time and show the pace.
How is the car working at this track? Because it's quite fast.
Yeah, it's working fine. It's just a lack of grip after the rain. That's been the biggest problem. Everyone is struggling with that, I think.
Thank you very much. Good luck. So let's see if we can find our next driver, Topi. He might be hiding behind here, looking maybe at some data. See if we can find him. Ah, there he is, sitting with an engineer. Hi, Topi.
Hi.
So what exactly are you doing?
No, we're just trying to find some grip to the start, and we see like what's going on, because we're losing a little bit with the traction, and we focus for that.
Why is it you're losing some traction out here?
I don't know exactly. It was really slippery condition yesterday, and now we just need to see what was the wrong yesterday, and today we are much more stronger for that.
What's difficult about a track that is made for just this one weekend?
Yeah, the surface is really loose, and it seems like the track racing track is really slippery, so it's making a little challenge for us, but we work for that.
Thank you, good luck.
Thanks.
Well, slippery conditions then, making it a challenging weekend for the Markland Motorsport boys. But of course, this weekend they are joined by an American legend and a former race winner in World RX.
So Tanner Faust is back with us this weekend as Markland Motorsport's wildcard. Welcome back, Tanner. What do you think about Hockenheim?
It's an incredible place. You know, you have the Motodrome, you have the Sachs Curve, you have the DTM cars, the GP track. It's got a lot of history here. So it's very cool to be in Volkswagen's backyard, and with 200,000 people coming through the weekend, it's a great opportunity to show rallycross to new people.
The last time you were with us, you were in Finland, you won. Is that the aim for the weekend?
Well, yeah, it's the aim for the weekend. That was in the wet. I think the Polo handles the wet very well. It's dry today, so we'll have to see how it pans out.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Heat 3 saw drier conditions than day 1. Kristoffersson, with that double puncture yesterday, found himself in an early heat race. He was out front and took a very easy victory. Rennie Munich jumped the start quite clearly in that case. Kristoffersson's teammate Linnerud was the man down into turn 1 first, whilst Powles was spinning off the track. A win for Linnerud. Robin Larsson got down to turn 1 first in his heat race, but the pack were putting him under pressure. Sandström was chasing hard, but Larsson stayed out front and took the checkered flag. It was a decent time by Larsson, 3:05.6.
Yeah, but still it was a bit slower heat than the previous one regarding the lap times.
Here's how they line up then for Heat 3, Race 4. PG Anderson, Timo Timozianov, Timmy Hansen, Andreas Backerud and Reinis Nittisch. So all 3 of the Ford OMSE cars are in this one. Be interesting. Timmy Hansen alongside his teammate, of course, from the last couple of seasons, Timo Timozianov. Hansen has been on it the last couple of events. He's been very quick indeed. This fantastic onboard for Reinis Nittisch as well. You get to see just how hard he has to work in this car. Referencing down to the dashboard and up to the marshal just to check everything's ready to go. Timmy Hansen on board, focused and good to go. A big deep breath from Timmy. Belts are on tight. You can see him trying to squeeze a deep breath in under that Hans device. When the belts are on like that, it's very hard to get a deep breath on the start line. They're all fired up, so are we. Let's get this one underway. Even start across. Timosyanov seemed to get the best start away from the line. Very, very even down to turn one. Who's going to come out of this one in first? It's Nitish from Bakarud. Timosyanov's going up the inside. Those guys have run wide. Hansen's out wide. Timosyanov then up the inside of Bakarud. Nitish is leading down towards turn two. Bakarud shuts the door on Timosyanov. Hansen's being hung out to dry all the way around the outside of the Sachs curve. Anderson up the inside. Anderson's going to get Timosyanov. Hansen, contact nearly off the side of the track. He's dumped down to 5th place. Disaster for Hansen away from the line.
Yeah.
Oh, and the spin. So that's it's Bakarud facing backwards. Bakarud's facing backwards. Hansen is at a standstill. Anderson all the way around the outside. I just looked away at the crucial moment. What happened there?
I think Bakarud tried to overtake Nitish, and Nitish actually a bit gave him a bit of a push, and that's why he spun. I'm not sure about it, but
well, I don't know if Jussi Piemäki will be very pleased.
We saw some sparks in between the old teammates Hansen and Timosyanov for sure in the Sachs curve. They were pushing a bit and giving some nice. Oh, was it PG who did the call?
PG with a bit of contact, then we think it was possibly PG who caused that, but we'll see. Timosyanov at the moment is out. Whereabouts is he? He's in space, but he's not leading. It's Nitish who's out front. We're on board now, looking back down the side of Timmy Hansen's car. He's coming down towards the gravel section underneath where the Iron Spotters Tower is. You can see it in the background. That's where all the spots are. Hansen's run wide. Anderson's having a look up the inside here. Hansen is under real pressure, and PG is on a bit of a flyer. Timosyanov around the right-hander. You can see. Is Hansen struggling here?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, I don't know. He's not so fast, and he lost already in the start quite a lot. So there must be something. I don't know if it's when they attacked a bit. So if there's tires a bit in wrong. Yeah, it is. There's smoking, so you can see that.
So smoke from the front right, where Riku thinks it might be a puncture. We saw a puncture on Timmy's car in warm-up, I think, as well. The rear right went down on Timmy's car in warm-up. Has the front right gone completely? It certainly looks like it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Seems to be on the rim at the minute. He's coming past the commentary position right now, but he's struggling to get it turned in. He's struggling to get it turned in. Anderson's looking up the inside again. Timmy has definitely got a problem on the left-handers. He just can't get the car turned in.
He has big issues in the steering for sure.
He's going to get eaten alive, isn't he? Through the next left-hander over the finish line. Surely the guys could do something to get past him.
Yeah, you see there. Goes wide.
Anderson having another look up the inside. It's not quite enough. And through there he seems okay, but definitely struggling over the outside paint. And again down towards Sachs curve. And this is really playing into Reinis Nitish's hands. He's out front and just completely scot-free. Lap times for Nitish, not bad, 44.2.
No, but still Kristoffersson has been amazing in his own heat, because he did a 43.8, is the best lap time for him. So.
And when you think that was when they just watered the track as well, it's absolutely
really
outstanding by Kristoffersson. Hansen then goes to the Joker lap. He's the last man to do so. Anderson was right behind him. We're looking at Nitish as he goes over the line. It's Nitish who takes the win, the only driver to stay out of trouble, and Hansen has lost out to Anderson there. He's going to make the finish. Definitely a problem with the car. Anderson and Hansen. Timosyanov went across the line in second. There is Kenneth Hansen, legendary rallycross driver. He's looking concerned. They know they don't have long between heats here. Susan Hansen up there as well, Kenneth's wife. They've both won rallycross titles. Kenneth, the most successful rallycross driver of all time. His results of Heat 3, Race 4, Reinis Nitish from Timosyanov. Look at that lead, 6 seconds. He was the only driver to stay out of trouble. PG Anderson, Timmy Hansen and Andreas Bakarud. Nitish slots into second place. Nobody else is on the first page, so good run for him, not for the others. Molly is up in the spotters tower.
Kenneth Hansen, tough race for Timmy. What happened?
Yeah, it was tough. There was some, battling, and we saw it also yesterday. It was quite rough. But and he had the engine stop after the crashing there, so he lost quite a lot of time, but just to fix the car and come back.
He's running in 5th now. I mean, do you have time to fix any damages on the car?
We have very fast mechanics, so no problem for that.
Thank you very much.
Kenneth Hansen confident they can get the car fixed. We have very fast mechanics. That's what we like to hear. Everything's very fast in World Rallycross.
Do you think there was a message for
Let's
the
have a little look.
ex-teammate?
Maybe at the replays from that last one. Crowd eager to see the fastest drivers. Here are the replays. Hansen all fired up, but it didn't go his way.
Yeah, he actually took off from the line quite well, but then something happened there.
So there's a lot of contact, wasn't there?
It was PG who flipped the Bakarud there. But Buckerwood, I don't know if he stole the engine or something, because he completely stopped in the middle of the corner, and so there was nothing PG could do.
And looking really, really relaxed on board there with Reinis Nitish. Decent win for him, no problem, compared to everyone behind him. All the carnage kicked off. Checker flag fell on another exciting heat race. Final race then of Heat 3. This one has got the fast guys in it. So on the inside, Liam Doran, who's sitting top qualifier overnight, his teammate Petter Solberg alongside Tanner Faust, the American winner from Finland last year, is in the middle of the grid. Davy Genet doing a great job this weekend, and Manfred Stoll for Team Austria right up there as well. Doran with an absolutely storming drive yesterday, set fantastic lap times in tricky conditions, and it's a real return to form for the British bomb. Can he get down to turn 1 first, or is his teammate Solberg going to beat him to it? We've wanted to see these two off the line together for quite some time. Solberg is clearly in front. Manfred Stoll was left on the line. Faust shuts the door on Doran. He's having none of it, gives him a little punt in the side. Genet coming up alongside Faust down towards Sachs curve. Is Genet going to have a look up the inside? Faust with contact from the rear. Genet's hit him. Faust manages to hold on somehow on the brakes, but it's Solberg in the lead.
Yeah, there was some hitting. Really, Davy Genet gave a bit of a push to Faust and Liam as well, but Liam is a bit stuck. Liam is faster than those guys at the moment.
Outrageous car control. Genet pushed wide into the wall by Faust. Faust really backed it in on the right-hander as he turned into the gravel section. Liam goes to the Joker. So Genet there, lucky to stay out the wall. Faust just pushed him a little bit wide. They sweep now round to complete the first lap. Liam Doran looking slightly off the pace of these guys compared to yesterday, but it's early days. Manfred Stoll, disaster at the start as well for him.
Yeah, I think he stole the engine at the start, so that's why Liam had a perfect timing with the Joker. He just saw when Genet went wide and took the Joker then suddenly, and that's why I think he's close to win this. Let's see how he can catch up with Petter and the others.
So Doran has jokered, so has Manfred Stoll. You're looking there at Tanner Faust, followed by Davy Genet. Petter Solberg in the lead on this gravel section. He's absolutely revelling in the sideways stuff here. Genet into the Joker lap. So Genet releases himself from traffic. He goes into the Joker. It's now Petter from Faust. Genet's going to slot out in front of Liam. So even though Liam took that early Joker, Genet has gone. The Hansen team have sent him, and he defends the position.
Yeah, I don't know if Liam did a bad lap after his Joker, because he should be able to pass Genet, but actually Genet kept the position quite nicely there, easily.
So good drive by Genet this weekend. Petter Solberg, how close to the tyres. The accuracy of this guy is just unbelievable. Look at him working away on the wheel as he gets the car turned into the right-hander. On the gas then down, the transition from tar to gravel. Look at this, sends the car on the gas and away. Faust is right behind him. Faust goes to the Joker now, and I think Faust is closing the gap down on Petter.
Yeah, he's trying the same that Genet did last lap, but he can keep the position. That actually, the Joker lap is really fast at the moment, because they are not losing any time.
So close between those two. So Faust is going to have to Joker on this lap of 44. Was 44.0? Was it for Genet? Not sure.
Yeah, it's a second slowly when she takes the Joker.
Absolutely rapid lap times from these guys. Petter Solberg has got to take the Joker lap. Tanner Faust did an absolutely fantastic job on his run through there. Can Solberg do the same and come out in the lead? Is he going to come up smelling roses on this one? Not going so well for his teammate Liam Doran. He's not far behind though, and it'll all be about lap time. Remember, this is about times. Solberg then dives into the Joker lap. Tanner Faust is coming around the outside. I think Solberg's done enough. The Norwegian world champion sweeps back in the lead. He's just got the 2 corners to go. This is going to be a quick one from Faust as well. Genet behind. Around the left-hander, the world champion takes the final heat race of Heat 3. It's Faust in second and Genet in third. Doran a little way off in 4th place. Kristoffersen, 3:02.669. Rick Kutako pointing at the screens up here. Solberg is the only person to have gone faster than Kristoffersen right at the end of the heat. Great spot there.
Yeah, I was amazing time for Kristoffersen in the first race.
Here is the result, 3:02.669 for Petter Solberg from Faust, Genet, Doran and Stoll. And let's see that overall graphic for Heat 3 standings. There is Solberg, look, just 3/10 faster, so great drive by him and by Kristoffersen. Nitish sitting in third. And Molly is with Petter's team right now.
So you just mentioned to me that Petter's had a bit of trouble with the starts at the free practice earlier, and then you got in a message that he's now the fastest driver in this heat.
Yeah, it's it's not a big difference between being on top and the bottom. So obviously the grip is changing all the time. Yesterday we had a lot of rain. Now it's dry, and obviously it was a bit more grip than expected. So, but now we got to start working properly. So very important to get away first off the line, and could drive his own race and take the joker on the last lap. So plan worked perfect. So we just have to continue like this, and hopefully the result will be great in the end.
Great, thank you.
Let's have a look at the replays from that final heat race. Brilliant start away from the line by Solberg.
Yeah, it was. He took a car length from Liam just in first 50 meters. He was really fast all the way through, and amazing was that in the Joker lap still they didn't lose so much time, so they were able to keep the positions even they took the Joker.
It is a very, very fast Joker lap here. It's a quick track all round. It's providing some fantastic action. The world champion was on top in that one, but he's behind his teammate overall. Well, the crowd looking forward to the next heat. Here's how they stand after heat 3. Liam Doran then still in the top qualifying position, manages to hold on to it from his teammate Petter Solberg. It's a 1-2 for SDRX. Nitish, Genet, Kristoffersson, Faust, Linnerud and Stoll round out the top 8. At the minute, Larsson, Hansen, Heikkinen and Timosjanov are in. PG Anderson, Edward Sandstrom and Andreas Backerud are out. This weekend, the JRM racing team joined the World Rallycross paddock, racing the Mini RX. We took the chance to meet the new team.
We made the decision quite late, so it's been a bit of a push. We took over the Minis in December, so it was the first time we saw them. We immediately stripped the cars down and started to go through them and understand them, rebuild them up, make sure everything was running correctly with them. It's been a compressed development so far, but we've identified a lot of areas that we want to improve on the car. But we only really made the decision to come to Hockenheim about 4 weeks ago, so it's been an interesting 4 weeks. A lot of hair being pulled out, as you can tell. But no, it's good. It's good to be here and to start to understand what is Rallycross and how can we be here and be competitive next year.
The most important thing was, I love Rallycross. I did a few years at GRC. And to be over here in Europe to race here with some of the fastest guys in the world is pretty awesome. And JRM giving me the opportunities is a very cool, hard to pass up opportunity. My goal is to put together a program for 2016, which I think works well for the team and the drivers. I know I'm training really hard for trying to qualify for Ironman World Championships in Kona. So that's a ton of training. I'm right in the middle of that. So to take a week and come over here is it's a little tough on training, but it's worth it. Can't pass this opportunity up.
I've been dabbling in racing since I've been a young kid. I've started off with a motocross passion, pursued that, to about a professional level. But I have a skateboard career that simultaneously is funding my racing passion. I just decided that I think Rallycross, based on my history in motocross, and then I have a lot of seat time on the tarmac, I thought I could be a hybrid between both of my experiences would be a perfect fit for Rallycross.
It's unbelievable what a European-built Rallycross car feels like. It's just another ball game. So it's not just racing, it's a lot of fun to be in the car to drive it. I mean, it really is. And you launch in second gear in this car and it's crazy. It pulls you and your stomach drops and you're just, the feeling's cool.
It was great to see Danny take Petter off of the line in his first ever launch. So yeah, he was bouncing off the walls with that one. So everyone's really enjoyed it, and I think it's going to be a good place for us to be for the long term.
Heat 4 and its last chance saloon for qualifying. Race 1 was a 3-car heat. Powles took the lead. Pusher had managed to pass him down into Sachs curve but ran wide on the gravel section and left Powles in the lead to have a fight with Danny Way. Way was on a steep learning curve. He managed to get alongside Powles but then got pushed wide into the dirt and almost into the wall. Heat 4, race 2. Let's see the lineup. On the inside, we've got Manfred Stoll, then Timmy Hansen, Rennie Munich, and Andreas Bakkerud. Some very, very fast drivers in this one. That was thanks to a couple of messy heat races in Heat 3. You'd have to say Hansen and Bakkerud would be your favourites in here, but Manfred Stoll has really shown he's got the pace. And he's been driving a bit tidier than he did in Argentina last year. Him and Hansen came together, almost a jump start on the outside for Bakkerud, but not quite. Hansen shuts the door on Stoll. Bakkerud's trying to take the long run all the way around the outside. Stoll is on his inside, though. Hansen's leading. I think Bakkerud's going to be able to shut the door on Stoll. He does. Munich is up behind them. Is anybody going to do anything silly? Munich having a look up the inside of Stoll, but he doesn't get past. So Hansen with a good clean start.
Yeah, good clean start, and I think that was a gentleman play for all of them, that they left some space, and then Bakkerud was outside, but he was not collapsing or there was no contact, so clean start.
So we got a bit of contact there as well between Munich and Stoll. Stoll going into the Joker lap behind Bakkerud that you can see there. Now Bakkerud and Hansen, who are out front here. Hansen is currently sitting in 10th place, so a half-decent result should see him make the semis, but Andreas Bakkerud is down in 15th.
Yeah, he's under pressure now. He needs to deliver a good result for sure. I think Timmy Hansen should have quite a good time if he had a clean run, but for sure Bakkerud needs to be as close as possible.
Fantastic on board there with Timmy Hansen. A little bit of Timmy Hansen style opposite lock, not too much, just enough. Onto the gravel section, and this is where Timmy hasn't looked that spectacular. Look at that on board, fantastic. Seeing him pull the gear just in the middle of the corner, through the left-hander and then through the right, and he'll rejoin the tarmac section now. Here we go. Tiny bit of handbrake, I think I spotted there from Timmy. That's unusual.
Yeah, I think he didn't actually pull that. I think it was a bit of a secure only.
Considered it.
Yeah,
considered
having
it.
the hand there ready.
That's a good move for Hansen, though, considering the handbrake. He's such a tidy driver. Looking at him and Petter, certainly Portugal and here, Petter goes out, does this unbelievable sideways lap. Hansen goes out, does something tidy, and you think, well, he's not that quick. And then on the timesheets, he's half a second quicker.
Yeah, he's from racing side, so that's why he used it. But here you see he uses the handbrake early once he stepped from tarmac to the dirt section, so he kicks the car sideways early and then go back on power, so he can more or less rev through the whole double gravel section.
Well, Bakkerud has taken his Joker and Timmy Hansen hasn't. Bakkerud's spotter, Jussi Penemäki, is on the ground down underneath us, away from the Iron Spotters Tower, so maybe he doesn't want to give away when they were going to take their Joker lap. But I think Bakkerud's near enough here, and that Hansen, when he jokers, he's going to take the position.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know, Timmy Hansen's speed has been a bit of a disappointment for me, because he has a clean track and no issues, seems to be no issues, but still.
Oh, up the inside, Bakkerud tried to make the pass, couldn't quite though. He might as well wait, surely he's got the Joker lap now, but then I guess it's about time.
Yeah, it is, but like Bakkerud did his Joker early on and was able to catch Timmy easily, so Timmy is a bit lost with the speed, I think.
So Bakkerud, after the Jokers play out, comes through to take the win. Checkered flag for Bakkerud. Second place is Timmy Hansen. A wounded Manfred Stoll's car has just come past the commentary position as Munich takes the checkered flag. And the crowd have been cheering like mad every time they see a pass. I have to say, we've seen quite a few on this circuit. It's been good fun. There is Stoll. Finally over the line. An applause for that as well. Let's have a look at the result. Andreas Bakkerud in first, that's a quick time. Timmy Hansen is second, Rennie Munich third, and Manfred Stoll is fourth. And the top three slot in at the top. Manfred Stoll with a bit of a problem there, ends up seventh overall at this point. Molly is with the Ford OMSE team right now in the Ion Spotters Tower.
Difficult day for Andreas Bakkerud. He's currently in 15th place. Can he make it into the semi-finals, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It goes very fast this time, and he had bad luck the last heat when somebody hit him in the corner. But I think he wants to be in the semi-final now.
Is he struggling with the track or the car?
Yeah, he drives very fast, and he's a skilled guy now.
Thank you.
Well, let's have a little look at the replays from that one then. So this was Hansen on board. Away from the line, it was a pretty even start. Hansen shut the door on Stoll, and Bakker tried to come all the way around the outside there. A little bit of handbrake there.
I don't know, Kenneth Hansen told something about some possible engine issues with Timmy's car after last heat round because of some contacts, and seems to be it needs to be a bit down on power because he's not making any big mistakes, and still Bakker was able to catch him easily.
Through that final corner on board, that's the wall that you have to avoid, and then the driver's heading back to the paddock. Well, here's the lineup then for Heat 4, Race 3. On the inside, it's Liam Doran. Then we have Alex Danielson, Timo Timosjanov, Dave Mirra, and PG Anderson. Liam Doran then, currently at the top of the qualifying table, but only 11th in Heat 3. So that didn't go according to plan. Solberg is behind him in the standings. So Liam needs a decent result here. Solberg, funny enough, was 16th in Heat 1. So those guys with a first and a second each in the heats, and then a disaster. They're still at the top of the table. What can Doran do now? Great start by Timosjanov in the middle of the grid. Timosjanov's going to take the whole shot down to turn 1. PG Anderson's really late on the brake. Surely hit him there. Doran goes through in third place. Those two are going to make a break for it. So it's Timosjanov. Oh, Danielson's looking really dangerous up the inside. He's on the curbs, and he's gone up the inside of Doran. Brave move from Danielson. Outbreaks Doran down into the tarmac hairpin. They sweep around the long left-hand and out, and it's down to make the right-hand turn onto the dirt. Let's see if anybody does anything silly here. All much more sensible than we've seen so far, and away.
PG Anderson made an excellent move out of the start. He started from the outside and
Danielson
all
in
the
the
way
wall.
through in the,
Sorry, Riku, Danielson in the wall there, and into the joker lap, Liam Doran. And Dave Mirra's gone in there as well in the mini, so Danielson appears to still be going, but he hit the wall quite hard.
Yeah, it seems to be no puncture still, but fortunately there is some travel on the next to the wall, so it softens a bit.
Timosjanov leading this one from Anderson. None of the top three have jokered, so Liam Doran, having jokered, doesn't have to worry too much about getting past Danielson, but he won't want to get held up at the minute. He's not on the back of him anyway. Wonderful, wonderful shots to the car. So hard to control a car when it's coming and braking and turning at the same time.
Yeah, there you can really see that you are on the limit there when it's tries to lock the wheels, but so you soften the brake pedal a bit to keep the wheels spinning there and maximum braking points.
PG Anderson through the joker lap. He slots out in front of Danielson, so now Danielson then has yet to joker, and PG still in front of him. It's going to come down to what Timo Timosjanov can do. He's a double European Rallycross champion. He was with Peugeot Hansen last year, and it just didn't go according to plan. Timosjanov needs to make sure he's got enough of a lead. It doesn't need too much of a lead here. We know the joker lap's fairly short. I think he's got a significant gap. Is this enough to take the joker?
Oh, he rolls the car.
He's rolled. He's rolled. Timosjanov rolls the car. He's landed on his wheels. Oh, he's sitting in danger in the middle of the road. So flames pour for the back of Timosjanov's car. We can see it now. Timosjanov is away after a roll. He continues passing the commentary position right now after a roll in the car. The Russian double champion is still on track. He might even not finish last, having rolled the car. It's an outrageous performance by him. How badly damaged is he? Will he be able to continue for the rest of the weekend? But the crowd love that. It's a brave drive from Timosjanov, despite clipping the tyres. Did he clip the tyres on the inside? I didn't see how he went over, Riku.
Yeah, he clipped the tyres from the inside, just tried to cut too much, and that's why he rolled. And I was just about to say that PG Anderson was flying, so Timosjanov must have seen it from the mirrors that he was really getting him fast.
Absolutely amazing stuff from the World Rallycross Championship. Entertaining the crowd in every way possible. Danielson finally slots left to the joker lap. Around his outside, Liam Doran is coming. Watch for the merge in the background. PG Anderson's going to take this one. Who's going to come out in front? Oh, Danielson and Doran are so close. Doran's right up behind him. Checker flag falls for Anderson. Around the long left-hander, Liam Doran's having a look up the inside. Danielson gets second, Doran third. Dave Mirra in fourth, and Timosjanov with a roll. The crowd like that, and so do we. It's a brilliant performance to make it to the finish despite rolling the car over back onto its wheels. Timosjanov was in 12th after Heat 3. Will he make it to the semis or not? Here's the result of that one. PG wins from Danielson, Doran, Mira and Timazyanov. And this is where they slot into Heat 4. Timmers at the bottom. He's in a little bit of danger. Be very, very interested to see what Timmer's team have got to say about that. Molly is up in the spotters tower with them right now.
Absolutely unbelievable drive from Timazyanov. I mean, he was in the lead and then he rolls the car and is able to continue. How is that possible?
Yeah, it's a small mistake, and you hit the tires here, and it's come so fast. And I don't see anything behind here, but maybe he hit the tires and let's go up.
Do you think there's any major damage? Will you be able to fix the car if he's on to the semi-finals tomorrow?
We can fix the car. It's no problem.
Thank you.
You have good mechanics.
Great, thanks.
Well, that's going to depend on whether or not there's any roll cage damage. It was a light roll, so hopefully not, because it would be a great story if Timmer just scrapes his way through. Let's have a look at the highlights from that one, and just maybe we'll be able to pick up what happened. Away from the line.
Look at the start from PG Anderson. That was absolutely amazing. All the way through from the outside line, second in the inside. So that's a great start.
Here is Timmer around the long left-hander and then down to the braking zone. Anderson was behind him. Is this the point at which Timmer rolled it? It is. Clips the tyres on the inside, rolls the car fully over. Anderson doesn't even pause, just bang up the inside. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable.
That's his spot to overtake him, of course. But I think Timur must have seen PG in the mirrors just before, because PG was flying and taking the gap.
Anton Marklund isn't just driving for the EKSRX team here in Germany. The young Swede is also racing in the Audi TT Cup around the legendary Hockenheim track.
So this weekend I will be doing World RX, as you know, and as well I will do the Audi Sport TT Cup. It will be a great experience, I think, with two totally different types of racing. Yeah, it will be fantastic to race on Hockenheim in both Rallycross and in the TT Cup. It's so big difference. It's nothing that's like the other, so it's quite easy to jump between the cars, because you won't pull the handbrake, go sideways and just smash it in the TT Cup car. You will be much more smoother, and you won't do it in the Supercar. Actually I find it quite easy to jump between the cars. It's not a big issue. So this is my Audi Sport TT Cup car. It's a one-make cup. All the cars is the same. It's about 310 horsepower with a push-to-pass function that's giving 330 horsepower to overtake. Front-wheel driven and really fast on the tarmac part. So this is the cockpit of my TT Cup car. It's quite clean. We have a S-tronic gearbox with the pedal shifters. The steering wheel is having quite a lot of buttons. This one is to start the car, as well as putting in the pit limiter, so I won't overspeed in the pits, because I don't want to get fined. Differential setup, 3 different setups, and also traction control off. Park brake, I can use this one instead of the foot brake to get the gear in. Change different maps on the display, so I see different things about engine temperature and all this. So one of the main things which I don't have in the Rallycross car is the push-to-pass button. I think we have enough power already as it is in the Rallycross cars with 600 horsepower. As well, in this car you don't have the handbrake, so you have to have a smooth driving style, and you can't really be aggressive going fast into the corner and just flick it in with a handbrake and go a bit crazy. In this TT Cup car as well, I don't have a clutch. I have a launch system which I push the brake pedal as hard as I can and just go flat out, and when the green light shows I just go off the brake. And that's maybe the most parts that's making a difference from the TT Cup car to the S1 in Rallycross.
This then is race 4, heat 4. On the inside we have Robin Larsson, then it's Anton Marklund, Tord Linnerud, Topi Heikkinen and Edward Sandström. There's a little look at the mirrors. Rarely get to use that, I think. Too much going on inside the car. Certainly going to be a lot going on away from the start. Larsson on the inside with another great start, but on the outside is Heikkinen. Oh, and a massive squeeze on Sandström. Lena has been pushed off into the barriers on the inside. Full spin, the boot's gone, he's back on the gas. That is an epic, epic recovery. Him and Timosjanov need a medal. The front is hanging off Markland's car, so it was Markland who got the squeeze in the background. Front end was hanging off that. What a start.
Amazing. Yeah, Topi had amazing start, but I think he thought he's a car length in front, but he was not, so he hit Markland a bit, and that's why it caused a spin to other guys. But amazing, full 360 and back on the game.
Absolutely. Linnerud, I've never seen anyone recover so quickly from a spin as that. That was absolutely outrageous. No boot on the car, no wing. I mean, it's not so bad here, is it, with the jump? Sometimes it can affect the cars, but I don't think he'll suffer too badly, will he?
No, not at this track, because it's still quite a technical and low-speed track, so you don't need that downforce for that. Now it's interesting to see what happens in between Topi and Markland, because we know they had quite a battle yesterday, and so they have some
quite a battle is an understatement, isn't it? Yeah, basically Markland harpooned Heikkinen, yeah, big time, and it was actually black flag for it. It's a shame for Markland, because obviously it didn't go his way in Portugal. Small mistake here. I think it was a misjudgment, wasn't it? You know, he came in the wet.
It was full, yeah. He locked the brakes there on wet, so nothing he can do.
Markland through the Joker lap. He's going to slot back out just behind Larsson. Look at Larsson, gives it the big send into the right-hander over the German flag on the gas. 570 to 600 horsepower these cars have got, and you can see four-wheel drive to lay it down. Absolutely fantastic acceleration. Bonnet flapping on Larsson's car, but this is a good drive from Topi. And he was your man, of course. You've been his spotter in the past.
Yeah, it looks good at the moment. It looks way better, because he's been struggling a bit with his suspension, and now he seems to be good, because he's doing good lap times, and that gap should be still enough with his Joker, but let's see. Yeah, he's taking the Joker now.
So Topi goes to the Joker. He knows everyone behind him has Joker already. He's got another lap left to do it, but if he leaves it another lap, they could close the gap down. Is he going to come out in front of Larsson? He does. Topi Heikkinen comes out in front of Larsson, so everybody's Jokered now. If you want to get past, you're going to have to get past on track through the left-hander. There's just a lap to go. Heikkinen, where's he sitting? 11th. He does need a good time here.
He need, and he will get if he finishes this clear. That was just the right call to get his in the Joker now, because the other guys did just one lap before, so good call from the spotter.
Heikkinen on the brakes into the right-hander. Larsson's closing him down. Is Heikkinen maybe being a little bit careful now? He knows he can't chuck it off.
Yeah, seems to be. He's losing the gap a bit, but I think that's still enough if no issues.
Robin Larsson behind him is the current European Rallycross champion. He's stepping up to a full World Championship campaign this year, and he's proven that he's got the pace to match up to the very best of them in a straight fight. Just rubs the tyres in the background. Heikkinen's going to take the win. Larsson, big time sideways over the line, lays down rubber all over the road. Almost another roll in the background, clipped the tyre bales, and over the line it was Markland, Linnerud and Sandström. Wow. Here's the result then, 3:04.156 for Topi. Behind him, Larsson, Markland, Linnerud and Sandström. Now this is how they stand after that race. We've got one more race to go. So those who are at the bottom of this list are in a little bit of danger. Let's have a look and see. Well, Peter Solberg has still got a race in hand, so it's those guys who are just ahead of him. Timosjanov is the one we're really interested in to see what he can do after that roll back onto his wheels. Molly is up in the Arm Spotters Tower, and she is with Topi's team.
With Topi's spotter, he is running in 11th place now before Heat 4. How did the race go?
Yeah, the last heat went as, best Topi was, could do, and now we need to just see the last heat and need to hope that we were fast enough to go in the semifinals, because the battle is really tight between the, I think, places 9 to 15, so there is really big fight for the semifinal places.
Has he been struggling at all with the track or the car?
Yeah, I think he have been struggling with the track. I think maybe also setup-wise of the car that we couldn't find the as good setup as, but now we finally found the car which is going well, and now we just need to push.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Topi's spotter, Alexei, saying that they need to push. Let's have a little look at the replay of this one away from the line. What happened here?
I think he thought that he is a full car length in front, but he was not, so he kind of squeezed all the others to the inside, but that was a quick move from Linderud.
Absolutely brilliant recovery by him, and it was Markland, not Sandstrom, that was caught in the sandwich. Markland did well to get away with that as well. There's a car either side, and just somehow he came out. Look at this from Linderud. It's like a stunt driving.
That's the fastest ever, yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah. Topi spotter Alexi told about the setup. I know that Topi's been struggling with the setup a bit, but now the first cars on top, like Topi and PG, both did a good time, so I think they've solved the problem.
Well, I can't wait to get this one underway. Let's have a look at the lineup for Heat 4, Race 5. On pole, we've got Petter Solberg, the world champion. Round 1 winner Johan Kristoffersson is next to him. Reinis Nittisch is on form this weekend. Tanner Faust is a previous winner, and it's been a brilliant run so far for Davy Genet. This one is hard to call. Just waiting for a thumbs up from the marshal, and then we'll be underway. There is Reinis Nittisch, always looks so calm. His season in Super 1600 was unbelievable. He made the right choices at the right times every time. Is he going to do the same this time round? Oh, Tanner Faust, almost a jump start, just about gets away with it. Great start by Nittisch. Solberg on the inside. Genet's trying to come around. Faust has backed out. He's gone up the inside of Kristoffersson, just rubs the tyres, but he gets away with that too. It's a drag race now between Nittisch and Solberg. Kristoffersson's having a look up the inside of Nittisch now. Solberg on the brakes. We're on board, I think, with Nittisch looking forward at Petter. There he is with that classic sideways style. Coming up through the left and then the right. It is Nittisch in second. Genet is in third. Kristoffersson down in fourth. Breaking into the tight right-hander. So close again before Petter onto the dirt and sideways and away.
Let's see what Kristoffersson can do. He's been super fast all weekend, and he did a right call. He took a joker, and now he's hunting on the hunt for those guys.
So him and Faust jokering now. They hadn't really got a choice. They've got to get in there and then just get their heads down, see if they can make that gap back up.
Yeah, I think that's the only plan at the moment, because they both kind of missed the start. I think Tanner got super bad start, and he tried some moves there, but there was no choice to overtake in the first corner, and he's dead last.
You can see Reinis Nittisch soaring away at the wheel, trying to get the Ford turned in. Here's that section on the brakes, turning the car in. The car's really moving around. You can see Petter pulls the handbrake just to tweak it in a little bit. Reinis Nittisch is all over the back of him, through the left-hander on the dirt. Are either going to go to the joker? Nittisch joker, so Nittisch jokers first. Genet's gone on the standard lap. Behind them, Kristoffersson and Faust have both jokered already. Where's Nittisch going to come out? Nittisch is going to come out behind Genet, but Genet is yet to joker. Is he going to hold him up almost into the side of him? So Nittisch now is behind Genet.
But Nittisch can hold his position against Kristoffersson, which is good, because that's important points for him if he can finish in front of Kristoffersson.
Heavy braking down into the Sachs curve around the long left-hander. Again, you can see handfuls of opposite lock and pulling gears through the left and then the right, heavily loading on the brakes. Genet's done a great job this weekend.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been surprisingly good. I think way better than Timmy Hansen, his teammate, actually.
It's certainly been very consistent drive from him. In the background, Tanner Faust. I think Tanner almost jump-started, then dipped the clutch and missed the start.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, he moved and then he needed to stop the car before hitting the jump start stick.
So Genet still to joker. This is definitely costing Nittisch time, and Kristoffersson now is catching up behind those two. I don't think any of them will do anything silly, because this is about time, and these guys are all in the box seat at the front end of the grid.
That's completely true, but Nittisch, of course, he needs to be as close as Petter as possible, and now he's kind of a bit of on hold behind Gianni, so
masterclass in car control from Petter Solberg. You can see the way he moves the car around on the brakes is absolutely fantastic. Genet is about to joker. I think he should have jokered earlier, because Kristoffersson's right there now. Faust as well. He could stand to lose out big time. Solberg takes the joker. He's going to come out way in front. Easy drop for Solberg. Where's Genet going to come out? Genet loses 2 spots. Hits Kristoffersson. It's a spin for Genet. Kristoffersson as well. They're both on the gas trying to get away. Faust has made it through into third place. Solberg takes it from Nittisch. Faust takes third. Kristoffersson with unlucky contact, and Genet across the line in fifth. Wow. The crowd enjoyed that. The World Rallycross Championship continuing to deliver. Here is the result of the final heat race. Petter Solberg takes it from Reinis Nittisch, Tanner Faust, Johan Kristoffersson and Davy Genet. And here is how they stand after all the heat races. It's Petter Solberg who takes the top qualifier spot from Reinis Nittisch, Liam Doran, Kristoffersson, Genet, Faust, Backward and Larsson are all in. Linnerud, Heikkinen, Anderson and Hansen Timozyanov with that roll is out. What a shame. Molly's up in the spotter's tower. Let's see who she's got.
Another fantastic race for Petter. What did he say to you over the radio just now?
I can tell you there was a very happy man on the other side. So yeah, no, it was fantastic. Clean race, no problems. Yeah, that's how like it should be. But obviously, you know, there is other competitors in the same heat, so have to be a bit lucky off the start and everything. But seems to have the margin on our side now. So far so good. So looking very good in front of the finals for tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
A great drive by Solberg. Let's have a look at some of the replays from that one. There was Faust almost jumping the start.
Yeah, he moved the start. He needed to stop again. Now he tried to make a move against Christopher, so but no chance from that on. So he stalls the engine again there. So that's why he lost so much in the beginning.
On board with Nitish, looking at Solberg, and you get an idea there of just how much dirt is thrown up into the face of the drivers behind. Genet definitely should have joked earlier because he ended up coming out alongside Kristoffersson, and that was the result.
Yeah,
so
that was a mistake because he took joker too late.
Never mind, he'll still make it through to the top 12, so it's not the end of the world. Just could have been slightly better. Well, let's have a look then at our intermediate standings and how those drivers split up into the semi-finals. So the top 16 scored championship points, as you can see, but only the top 12 go through. Here's how they're going to line up for the semis. The odds go left to semi-1, the evens go right to semi-2. It's Solberg on pole with his teammate Doran alongside him. That's going to be mega. And then Nitish and Kristoffersson on the front row as semi-final 2.
So we are here by Petter Solberg's car with Liam Duran and Petter Solberg, who are flying this weekend and seem to make the perfect match. Why is that, Petter?
Well, to be honest with you, Liam, I've actually been flying earlier than me on this weekend, and I came very strong back again today. So, as a team effort, it's fantastic. But my car and the team have been working good. So, but I'm very happy, very happy.
Liam, you were very fast yesterday on the wet. How are things for you today?
Yeah, I had a pretty bad day today, but on a bad day and still being third overall, I can't complain at all. I had a really strong day yesterday, and could have done with finishing off a little bit better today. But for the team, first and third overall, you know, most points in qualifying is. I didn't see that coming in Portugal, if I'm completely honest, because I had a bad event there. So I'm really happy for my guys who worked so hard, and then for all of us together, because we're all working together and trying to get you know, a good team, a strong team, and right now it's looking good.
There are lots of great drivers again this year. Does that make the challenge even harder, Petter?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's if you look at the standard, all the cars and the teams and the engineers they have got from different places over different motorsports, so they are pushing very, very hard. But for my point of view, I stick with the same philosophy, same people, and work in the same direction, and seems to have been working well. But I think this race so far it's been harder than all the races last year. You know, people have been pushing and done a lot of mistakes, and I try to stay out of trouble. You know, especially in the rallycross.
Liam, what are the biggest changes you've made this year, both to yourself and technically with the car?
I prepared personally to try and be faster in the car and more alert and be able to concentrate harder, so that's helped me a lot.
He is a dad now, so it's changing completely.
That's actually changed my philosophy a little bit about how to drive. It puts something on the outside you got to worry about, but it also means that when it goes really bad, you have something else that makes it good. So that helps a lot. Like today, it's been a bad day. I'm sitting third, still happy, but for sure still going to smile when I see my sons. That makes it a lot better. But car-wise, I've changed my theory a little bit towards what Petter does. We've worked together in testing and stuff, and it feels a lot better for me now. We're running the same suspension and everything, so that's made me faster, I would say. Changed the engine program a little bit to suit what he's doing more, but yeah, overall it's fast, really fast, and we just need to keep going this way and get some wins.
Thanks.
Almost time for the semi-finals here at Hockenheim. It rained all night, but it's drying up on track, as you can see, and the drivers have actually been given just a couple of sighting laps so they can get a feel for what the grip level's like, because of course heats 3 and 4 were yesterday, so it's going to be fun. Stay with us. Hello and welcome from Germany. We are coming to you live for round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. If it's anything like as exciting as round 1 was, this is going to be fun indeed. My name is Andrew Coley. Alongside me this weekend is Riku Tako, who's recently been confirmed as a European Rallycross driver for the season. Riku, great to have you here. Been good fun so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really exciting race so far. A lot of contact, more aggressive racing than probably we have ever seen. So looking forward to today.
So we're at round 2 of the championship. Let's have a look at where we've been and where we're heading for the rest of the year. Portugal was just literally 4 or 5 days ago. Up to Hockenheim for round 2. We've got a week until Belgium. GB's on the back of that. 13 rounds in total. Hockenheim, of course, a very, very famous German circuit which has hosted some incredible motorsport over the years. Hoping they're ready for World RX as well. Great crowds here. They're waiting for a DTM race. They've already seen an Audi TT Cup race. Tanner Faust won the international class of that. But let's have a look back and see what happened in qualifying over the last couple of days. So this was day 1 then. Anton Markland, big mistake from him. He harpooned the side of Heikkinen and was actually disqualified for that. That's meant that he hasn't made it through. More contact. This was Timmy Hansen and Larsson. Bit of a sandwich on the way down into the gravel section. Anderson got turned around there. There were other people who suffered a similar fate later in the day. Liam Doran on an absolute flyer. He was 2nd and 1st on day 1. That put him on top of the standings. Great drive. On to heats 3 and 4. Larsson and Sandstrom had a bit of contact. Larsson's tyre was smoking. He managed to get away with that. The European champion is on form here. Been great driving from him. Timmy Hansen getting himself all fired up. Great heat race this one was. That went to an appeal in the end. It was Backerud being spun round, but it was contact between the 3 of them, so no penalties were given. Liam Doran against Petter Solberg, Tanner Faust as well. Great to have the American driver back, of course, winner last year in Finland. Petter won heat 3, and he was really starting to fly. Hansen and Backerud, this was a race between those two. Backerud managed to get the better of Timmy there. That's the left-hander over the flag in front of the grandstands and the checkered flag before heading back towards the paddock. Now have a look at this one. Timosyanov in the lead. Anderson right up behind him, and Riku, he stuck it on his roof.
Yeah, that's what happened. I think he saw PG Anderson in his mirrors, and that's why he clipped the inside and rolled the car, unfortunately. But were able to finish the heat.
Linnerud got spun round at the start. This was an absolutely epic recovery. Left the rear wing in the barrier. They looked at the onboards, and they reckon despite that, he only lost 1 car length in the off. Tanner Faust, a bit of a mistake there, but Solberg, again, was on a mission. He won both heats 3 and 4. And it was Petter Solberg who qualified in the P1 position. Christopherson and Genet came together, no penalties for that either. So here are the intermediate classifications and how they split for the semi-finals. Top 16 then get championship points. As you can see, Solberg ended up as TQ. Liam Doran didn't do so well in heats 3 and 4, but he's still in 3rd. Top 16, as I say, points, only the top 12 through to the semi-finals. Here's how they split. Odds to the left, evens to the right. We've got Solberg and Doran on row 1 for semi-final 1, and Nittish and Christopherson on row 1 for semi-final 2. We're going to have a catch-up with Molly Pettit, who's back with us this weekend. She caught up earlier on with Andreas Backerud over in the Rallycross paddock.
Andreas, you are in the middle of 2 full teams in the semi-final. How have you planned for this?
I mean, I'm going into the war now, and this is World War III, you know. Everything can happen. It's slippery in the first corner. We have the hairpin in the middle here. It will be a mess, and hopefully I can stay and avoid the problems. you know, it's 6 laps. I feel confident, I feel fast, and you know, I have the Marklunds, I have the Solbergs, and Liam in the front. So yeah, it's gonna be hard, very hard.
Good luck.
Well, there are the crowds in the grandstands looking down on this fantastic rallycross circuit, which has been built especially for this event. A little bit greasy down here on the start line, Riku, but it does seem to be drying on most of the track, and they've re-prepared the gravel section overnight. It's looking good.
Well, yeah, it looks good, and everybody still goes with tri tires, with the slick tires for sure, and it doesn't matter if there's a bit wet spots on the tarmac. Gravel seems to have good grip. It's wet, but it's not muddy, so I think that's perfect for the grip.
And the gravel's been quite tricky, hasn't it? We've got some shots from yesterday, which Riku can talk us through. Some very different driving styles on the gravel.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of driving styles. We see Topi Heikkinen here. He spins the car a lot, and he slides it wide to keep it sliding until the end, when Timmy Hansen here uses the handbrake early, tries to get the car straight and makes 2 separate corners here. And then we've seen a lot of more action, like here Danny Wade trying to pass outside. He goes into the deep mud there, no chance. And then Danielson, who's used to be a circuit racing driver, he's too late with the steering in, and that's why it causes problems in the exits.
It's a very different driving style, isn't it, between tar and gravel, and we've seen some fantastic performances from people like Timmy Hansen, but Danielson himself said, I need to get my rally on in the press conference on Friday, and he still needs to get his rally on 2 days later. It's been good, but it's, you know, needs a bit more time in the car.
You need to think more forward, you know. On gravel, you need to put the car in the right position early before the corner to accelerate straight out, but he turns like he would turn on tarmac, so he trusts on the grip, and there is no grip on gravel.
Let's have a look at what we've got coming up for you then in the next hour. So first of all, Supercar semi-finals. Remember, it's now 6 laps. The top 3 go through and the bottom 3 go out. We're going to have a look in detail at these fantastic World RX cars, what makes them so special to drive. And then on to the live Supercar final. Who is going to be on the top step of the podium for round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship? Good to see so many people have turned up early for Rallycross. There has been that TT Cup race, but it's a bit of a wet day. And the German fans do seem to have been enjoying it, cheering everything. There's the spotters tower. And Molly is actually up in the Iron Spotters Tower right now, and she's with Ford OMSC's Jussi Pinamäki ahead of the semi-finals.
Jussi, how have you prepared your drivers for today's semi-final?
It's a tricky condition, so in my opinion it's only about their confidence. It's not dry, it's not wet, so this is probably the most challenging condition for the driver. So yeah, try to pump as much confidence into them as I can, and then we see what happens.
Does the track suit the cars, do you feel?
Yeah, they suit, but the track is changing all the time. That's the tricky part. We saw yesterday when it was dry that we had no problem with the speed. So I think they are confident.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cars are lining up, ready for the semi-finals. It's logistically a little bit more difficult for the teams here. They have to drive out to the paddock, so they haven't got all their gear there. Monster Energy girls have been delivered to the start line as well. Or the Monster Energy pickup truck. Decent machine to get a lift in. At least they're not having to use the umbrellas this weekend, because they were absolutely soaked in Portugal. They were still smiling, but they're ready to go. You can see a couple of guys looking down at the front wheels here of one of the Ford OMSC cars. He's one of the mechanics. You can see him wearing an armband. What do you think he's doing there, Riku?
Yeah, he's cleaning the tires, because they need to drive all the way through from the paddock, and I think there's a bit of a gravel section in between, so they clean the dust and the mud off from the tires, because in here, once we are on the race circuit, you can't do the tire cleaning before the head, like pre-grid before the start line, so they need to clean the tires by hand.
There we are. Great feedback from Riku Tako. And Molly is up in the Iron Spotters Tower, and she has now managed to go and find Petter Solberg's spotter. So let's get his thoughts ahead of semi-final number 1.
So Petter and Liam are starting next to each other now in semi-final 1. Will they help each other to get to the final?
You know, it's very difficult to make a plan in a final. You know, everybody wants to be first in that corner, so you know, you can maybe think about something, but we will have to see. That's you can't make a plan for it, I think.
Good Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can't make a plan for it, indeed. I can't remember, it's a boxer who said, wasn't it, you can't plan for it. You have a plan when you go into a fight, but then someone punches you in the face and the plan goes out the window. It was a famous boxer, that's all I remember. Tanner Faust quoted it to us last year. So Faust in this one, along with Heikkinen and Anderson, all three of the VW Markland cars, both the SDRX cars as well. Let's have a look at the full lineup for semi-final number 1. So on the front row, SDRX teammates Liam Doran and Petter Solberg. Row 2, Andreas Backerud and Tanner Faust. And on the rear row, we have PG Anderson and Topi Heikkinen. Very, very tricky for VW Markland. 3 cars in this final. Of course, Tanner's an independent, so he's kind of in a better position than the others are. The Monster Energy girls are heading off the grid, so it looks like we're nearly ready to go. Also, I think, what have we got? Backerud. So Backerud's the only representative here. He hasn't got any teammates alongside him, but I'm really, really looking forward to seeing Doran and Solberg into turn 1 together. They're not known for giving other drivers much space. Are they going to show each other a little bit of respect on this one or not?
Yeah, also we need to remember that on the start spots behind, we haven't seen any stars from there, so there's no rubber. So that's why the front row is a lot better to start from.
So we might then see an advantage on the front row. That's what Riku Tako thinks. I think he might be right. Petter Solberg's got the anti-lag on away from the line. It's a very, very slidey start in the background, and for Doran as well. Doran goes sideways. Anderson's tried to come around and outside. Backerud goes up the inside. Solberg goes into turn 1 first. Backerud is alongside Doran. It's now the run down to the Sachs curve, so can Backerud outbrake Doran? It looks like Doran's managed to get the power down. Faust having a look up the inside of Backerud as well. Backerud's gone through past Doran. Great pass. Oh, Faust is sideways, but it looks like he's going to follow Doran through as well. This is the crucial braking zone, down towards the right-hander. Lots of people have got it wrong here. Backerud stands it on his nose, and I think all 6 cars are going to get through there. Just a little rub of the tyres for Faust.
Yeah, I think Doran left the door open for Backerud for sure. We rarely see that from Doran, that he's a bit soft there, and he left the door open and Backerud used that.
Well, Doran and Faust go straight to the Joker lap. Where are they going to slot back in? Liam Doran, oh, just in front of Anderson. Anderson gets hit from behind by Heikkinen, and Faust as well has a problem there. So all 3 of the VW cars came together. Damage, heavy damage on the front of Anderson's car.
Anderson might have an intercool problem or something, because he's completely cracked the nose of the car.
So they're not going to be over the moon with that then. The 3 VW Markland Motorsport cars are at the back of the grid, and in front of them, Liam Doran has already jokered. Heikkinen up the inside of Anderson. Anderson's problem?
Yeah, I think it's an intercooler or something, because he lost all the power there, so he needs to retire.
Well, Liam Doran, I have to say, is in a really good position here. After what looked like a dreadful start, he was sliding all over the place. He just couldn't get any grip, Riku.
Yeah, I think he even got a more speed out from the Anderson heat from behind, so he kind of get the extra boost out from the choker, and he's in a good position now.
Doran is looking very, very strong indeed behind Backerud. Doran was really, really good on day 1 when the conditions were kind of greasy. It's definitely wetter than yesterday, but it's not as wet as it was on day 1. I mean, is he better in the wet, do you think?
Seems to be, and I talked with his spotter, and they had a completely new strategy for driving on wet conditions. So he really takes it easy and calm and smooth over the corners. So he's not sliding like normally, doing aggressive kicks, or he just go through the places, and it seems to work out well.
Backerud there, you could see soaring away at the wheel on that braking zone, down into the right-hander. It's then the left on gravel. The Joker lap splits off to the left here. And if anything here, I think Liam's suffering from the fact that Backerud isn't going to Joker. So Backerud's waiting. He's probably got enough time because the VWs just don't seem to be catching up.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I think Liam sees that it's too long way for Petter, so he just waits until Backerud takes the Joker and gets the 2nd position out of it then.
And Liam seems to have dropped back a little way. Liam really, really sideways in turn 1. Look at that great piece of car control, but it's not fast.
Yeah, and no, because you see the difference now. Backerud pulled away right away, so that's caused. So there is no room for that kind of mistakes.
So Backerud then with just a little bit of breathing space. If I was his spotter now, Toppy, I'd be saying Joker now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think for sure, because there is still plenty of gap in between Backerud and Heikkinen there, but so now he needs the Joker to keep the position. Liam will pass anyway.
So Backerud then into the Joker lap. Around the right-hander, Liam Doran is coming around the left alongside and Backerud gets out just in front.
Actually,
Doran on the brakes.
That was the Doran's problem.
Doran stopped. Liam stopped. Doran stopped on the track. He's come out of the Joker lap and he's at a standstill. The SDRX driver, something's gone wrong on the car. What a shame. It looked like he was going to make it through to the final, but it's an absolute disaster with just 2 laps to go. Liam, and he's restarted the car. We can see from the commentary position, but Liam is down in 6th place now. Petter Solberg then continuing to lead.
Yeah, that must be, might be only a driver's fault, you know. He went in with a too high gear and stalled the engine there, because he's going fine afterwards. So he did 2 mistakes inside a lap and lost the position to Backerud right away, so it's so tight.
What a shame. Backerud then doing the right thing by hanging on. Heikkinen has still got to do his Joker lap. He goes in there now. Solberg is in the lead, as you can see. Heikkinen's just coming through the Joker. We're looking at the merge in the background, and Heikkinen comes out in front of Faust.
Yeah, keeps the position from Tanner.
So that's what we can see from commentary. You're looking at Petter Solberg in the lead. Everybody has Joker now. Liam is way off the back of the pack, so I don't know what's wrong with his car. He's only just passed us on Spotter's Tower. Petter Solberg is on the final lap out of 6th, and this is a strong drive from the world champion.
Yeah, no problems at all. He just took the lead in the first corner and kept it all the way through, so no problem at all. He will take the Joker up now and easily goes into the final in the pole position.
Great job by Petter. Backerud really did look like he was going to lose out to Liam, but with those mistakes from Liam, he didn't. So now it's really all about who goes through in 3rd place. So the 3rd place fight is between Heikkinen and Faust there on the gravel section now. Solberg takes the checkered flag. Behind him, Backerud is going to come over the line in 2nd. This is the one which is important. This is who goes through. Heikkinen, I think, is going to get it. Faust is right there, but Toppy just squeezes through. And the American is just squeezed out. Liam Doran's putting on a massive show for the crowd on the gravel section. Couldn't be more sideways, but I suspect that that's probably because he's not very happy, Riku. It's a shame.
Yeah, it seems to be that he's a bit pissed off about all that, but yeah, he did so well. He was so fast, and that's two. Yeah,
and he's now struggling to get over the line, so there's definitely a problem.
There is that's not driver fault to stall the engine there. Oh, then he makes it for the audience only. No.
The crowd like it.
Yeah.
The crowd like it. They've gone nuts. Well, let's see if we can find out a little bit more about that. Molly Pettit is up in the Spotter's Tower, and she's managed to grab Liam's team. So let's see if they can shed any light on the problems with the car.
Oh, devastating for Liam after such a perfect weekend. What happened?
It looked like it was going to plan. Petter was in 1st, we was in 3rd, just behind Backerud, I think. And somehow, don't know how, I think engine failure kept cutting out, and that's it. That's it for the weekend now.
It looked like you decided to give a cracking show for the audiences here.
And stop on the finish line just for good measure, I think.
What do you think Liam's thinking in his head now?
I can't hear him, but I can hear Petter now from here, all the way in the paddock, and I'm Petter's happy, so that's half of the team in.
Thank you.
Well, focusing on the positives, let's have a look at the result from semi-final number 1. Petter Solberg makes it through in 1st, Andreas Backerud in 2nd, and Toppy a little bit lucky, I think, to make it through in 3rd. Liam at the back of the semi-final, and also out Tanner Faust and PG Anderson. The crowd enjoyed that. They were making a lot of noise for Liam, even when he stopped just before the finish line, and when he made it over the line in the end, they were very happy indeed. But this was the start, and he didn't get anywhere nearly as good a start as Petter.
Yeah. I think he actually left door open twice to Andreas, there in the inside and then again in the Sachs curve afterwards. So was a bit soft driving from Liam Duran, but still he was super fast all the way, and he was able to pass Backerud when he did the Joker. But then 2 mistakes in the same lap, and that cost him the final spot.
And this was where it stopped. I mean, he really did look like he could do it, but as I say, a couple of mistakes, and then the car didn't make it over the line. So a long, long way behind. It's a shame for the British bomb, but the crowd are still up for some more action. 1 more semi-finals to come. See who's going to go through. Alongside Solberg, Backerud and Heikkinen. 3 more places up for grabs in this one. Let's have a look at the lineup then for semi-final number 2. On the front row, Johan Kristoffersson and Reinis Nitish. Behind them, European champion Robin Larsson and Davy Geneve's having a great weekend for Peugeot Hansen. On the back row, the other Peugeot Hansen car, Timmy Hansen and Tord Linnerud. So a great lineup for semi-final number 2. Kristoffersson is on the front row, and Molly is with his father right now.
Tommy's just giving Johan a quick message before he's off. Does he have an advantage coming from a win in Portugal now?
Of course, with self-confidence, but it's all time tricky, and we are excited for the final. Close to scared, to be honest, because it's all time tricky. First corner is difficult, so but let's go for it.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, Kristoffersson has been strong again all weekend. His teammate's been strong too. So again, another two pairs of teammates in here. Kristoffersson, and behind him on the back row you can see Linnerud directly behind him. Hansen out wide, Genet in the middle. Who's going to get the grip away? Genet looks like he's really struggled. Linnerud's going to try and fire it straight up the inside. Brilliant start by Nitish. Hansen, though, from the back row. So Hansen's coming from the back row. He's trying to come around the outside. He's been muscled out, though. Linnerud's giving him a tap. And there's constant contact down the straight there. Kristoffersson and Larsson absolutely in each other's doors. Larsson's on the inside on the way into the Sachs curve. So round the inside. Kristoffersson's on the gas, he's going to try and get the overlap. Kristoffersson up the outside of Larsson. On the brakes, these two, he's going to go to the right. Larsson, I think, is going to hold on. Can he miss the tyres? He does. Wonderful bit of car control from him. So it's Larsson with Kristoffersson, then Linnerud behind him. And the two Peugeot Hansens have been dumped to the back.
Yeah, Kristoffersson is all over Larsson. A nice and fair game there. It was a contact, but nothing stupid or nothing nasty, so it's really good fight there.
So Linnerud and Genet have gone to the joker lap. Genet has come out behind Linnerud. We're on board now looking forward. There are the two Peugeot Hansens. So Linnerud's caught in a Peugeot Hansen sandwich, but Hansen has yet to joker, and if he jokers now I think he could lose a couple of positions. These guys at the front have made a break for it.
Yeah, seems to be.
Round through the Sachs curve, the long left-hander on tarmac. Linnerud, he's put in some brilliant performances this weekend. He was a little bit disappointing in Portugal. I think he'd admit that himself. But here, that fantastic recovery yesterday when he got fired off into the tyre barriers. And Hansen now does seem to have made up a little bit of time on Kristoffersson in front of him. So who's going to joker now? Anybody daring to go for it? They're not. So the three cars at the rear are closing the gap now.
Yeah. And Niti's got a perfect start. I think that's the pole position there is the try part of the grid, and that's why it helped, because he took few car lengths on the first straight already, so he took a perfect start.
Can these three catch up? Timmy, of course, is at a disadvantage here because he hasn't jokered yet. If he holds them up, they're not going to be able to do anything. I think the gap is still just a little bit smaller than it was a lap ago. Look at the way the nose dives. They're hitting the brakes so hard at Sachs curve, Rico.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of grip, so even tires get a bit muddy on the gravel sections.
That was Hansen, who I thought was going to take a desperate dive up the inside. He came from a very long way back having a look. I don't know if he was trying to make Kristoffersson nervous, but he'd have done well to get through there.
Yeah, Hansen's in a bad position right now, because the guys behind has taken a joker already, so he must try something to reach some gap, but it's not easy.
Do you think Larsson's holding up Kristoffersson? Because it seems to me that Nitish he's not far ahead, but Kristoffersson's all over the back of Larsson.
Seems to be, but Kristoffersson he seems to be a gentleman player, so he tries to overtake, but he's not touching or not trying to attack. He's doing nothing stupid, so I think he tried to, on the other hand, secure the final spot, but on the other hand tries to overtake Larsson.
So none of the top four have jokered yet. I think Nitish is doing well here. I might think if I was Nitish of heading to the joker lap soon, but the cars all sweep through. It's like
Larsson takes a joker now.
Yeah, Larsson into the joker lap. Good spot, Riku Tarko. From the commentary position, you can see where is Larsson going to come back out. Nitish is still in front, so Larsson slots back in third place. Hansen is behind him, so Larsson now is in an absolutely great position because Kristoffersson in front of him has still got to joker. Larsson up the inside, wonderful move up the inside. That was really opportunistic. Found the grip, found some traction. Can Hansen make something of this? Kristoffersson with a big tank slapper. Hansen's gone up the inside. Oh, that's fantastic. So now Hansen and Kristoffersson haven't jokered, and that's put Hansen just exactly where he wanted to be.
Yeah, suddenly Kristoffersson is now out from the finals, seems to be, and he was in the flying in the beginning. So as we see, joker lap is so fast here, so Larsson didn't lose any time, and he was able to take the spot back from Kristoffersson already.
Nitish has gone into the joker lap, so the race leader, Reinis Nitish, is in the joker lap. Here he comes on the right-hand side of your screen. He exits now. He's way out in front. This is a great drive by Reinis Nitish. Behind him, we've got a stream of drivers. Larsson has jokered, Timmy Hansen hasn't, and Johan Kristoffersson hasn't. Are the guys behind, are they near enough? Could Linnerud capitalise on this and end up going through?
Yeah, they must be close enough, I think, if they are not battling together and lose that time there. So I think that's enough for getting the final. So Hansen is in danger to drop off, and Kristoffersson as well.
So this is going to be very, very tight indeed. It's the final lap, so here we go. Final lap. Keep your eyes peeled for the Joker lap, and particularly the Joker lap merge. The front two, Nitish and Larsson, have all booked their place in. Here they go off to the left-hand side now. Hansen gives it the big send in. Christopherson's gone with him. Linnerud's coming around the outside. This is going to be so tight. This is for the final spot in the final. Is Hansen going to make it? Hansen slots out just in front. Linnerud's gone past Christopherson too. Checkered flag for Nitish. Larsson and Timmy Hansen somehow fights his way through to the final spot in the final. What a brilliant semi here. Round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Fantastic stuff, and the crowd are loving that. Screaming up here in the spotters tower. Unbelievable, Riku. That was brilliant.
Timmy Hansen, that was a perfect. I think it was his dad experience that showed that he absolutely amazing strategy with the Joker lap. He saved that in the end. Even he was in danger to drop off, and he made it through.
Here's the result of semi-final number 2. Reinis Nitish winning from Larsson. Brilliant drive from Hansen, taking advantage of Christopherson's mistake. Christopherson, Linnerud, and Genet are all out. Molly is up in the spotters tower. I wonder who she's got to tell us about the excitement from semi-final number 2.
Reinis, just a quick radio message here. Reinis seemed to have full control over that semi-final. What gave him that advantage?
No, we had a good start and tried to keep him calm and focus on his own driving, and he was able to push and you know, drive his own rhythm. So in this sport, when you get to that position, it's obviously easier to drive. So yeah, but now that is done, and one more to go.
Both cars in the final. How does that feel?
It feels good. Portugal was a little messy for us, but now we're starting to get up there and where we want to be, and boys are finding their confidence step by step, and yeah, it feels good.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, let's have a look at the replays from that one. There'll be some exciting stuff to talk about here. Now, Riku, you mentioned that this slot number 1 on the grid looks like the one to be in.
Yeah, see how Nitish pulls away there. It's a dry spot of the grid, and of course yesterday when the heats, when we had the heats, they were all starting from the same spot, but the second and the third row they never started from there, so that's why it makes so big difference there. But Joker is so fast, so fast. You're not losing any time more or less there in the Joker now.
Synchronized drifting through the gravel section. Fantastic stuff from semi-finals number 1 and 2. We've still got the final to come. Looking forward to that. Well, let's have a look back then at some of the moments from the semi-finals. Great stuff, as always, from the World RX drivers. 6 cars, Riku. It's tricky, isn't it? It's a different attitude. You're looking at time in the heats, and now all of a sudden you've got to make passes.
Yeah, you need to forget the timing and just go head to head and do whatever you can to overtake the cars if needed to be in the top 3, and that of course causes a lot of crashes. And as you see, we had PG Anderson breaking the intercooler because of a crash, and most cars had some you know, the front bumper off or something like that. So that's
fair bit of contact.
Yeah.
In terms of the Joker, I mean, we saw some great stuff there. Hansen seemed to get it right, and the other guys seemed to get it wrong. It's such a short Joker here. Does that mean the driver can make more influence by choosing themselves, or is it still down to the spotter?
It needs to be down to spotter, because you just need to concentrate on driving once you're in the car. So spotter makes the call, and if he's not making the call, then you're not going into the Joker, more or less. So, but I think the outer loop, the normal track now, it's quite soft there, and it's plenty of that soft gravel. So once you take the inner side of the Joker, you can really be almost as fast through it.
So very, very tight, and that makes it harder, doesn't it? As a driver, you can't judge where the other traffic is. So the spotters here are absolutely crucial.
It is, but it's hard for the spotter as well. As you might see that in the Sachs curve in the long straight there, you see that you have a bit of a gap, and you call for a Joker, but actually then once you see it here, it's, you know, you don't need that much space to make it through. So it's really hard call for the spotters when to take the car in.
Well, crowd enjoyed that last one. They made so much noise the first day when Kristoffersson drove by with a couple of punctures. I don't think they've ever seen anyone driving a puncture. They were going nuts for it. And then, of course, when Timosyanov rolled over, they went absolutely mental. And we had Linnerud fired off into the barriers. I think they've really, really enjoyed it and reaching a new audience by coming here and racing alongside the DTM. So good stuff. Different format, another new rallycross track. And I think it's been fun to drive on. See, the track cleaners are out. They're trying to remove the dirt for the DTM cars. They don't want to drive on the gravel on the way into the pits. We can understand that. But in the meantime, we hope they're enjoying watching the fantastic action. There's the Iron Spotters Tower. We've got a great view. Finals coming up soon. Crowds looking forward to the final. We are as well. The semi-finals were fantastic, particularly semi-final number 2. Can't wait to see the final. Well, these cars, absolutely fantastic. You've seen the racing, it's incredible. It's always sideways, flame-spitting exhausts, wonderful bits of kit. We managed to catch up with 3 of our World RX drivers and have a chat with them about just what it is that makes these cars so special.
So we've just seen the drivers talk about these fantastic cars, and now we've got 3 team principals with us who will tell us all about how that role is. You see, what does it take to run a car like this?
Takes, I don't know, it's so many things. The cars are so fast, you need to be able to react quickly. Still, you need to be relaxed when you drive to be able to control the car. They have so much power, the heats are so hectic, you do only 4 or 6 laps, so a lot of things happen within a really short period. So yeah, the reaction and being ready all the time on the track is probably the main thing.
Thanks. Kenneth, you've been in this for years and you're an ex-driver. How do these cars compare to the cars that you used to drive?
They have been more developed, so of course what we can see it's better engine and it's more traction in the cars. So it seemed to go in the direction where you can go a little more sideways and drag the car out of the corners, and that's really the fun driving to do that. And with these cars, you know, it's like an explosion when you go from the start, and the adrenaline to do a race like this is for us it's on the top, and I think for the drivers also.
Tommy, how do you prepare in the short time between the semi-final and the final?
Oh, that's close gap, but we have a good crew. There is about 20 people working around the car to support the drivers, and so there is no problem. We get used to it, and we have that in our program, so there is not any big problem with that.
You all are obviously ex-drivers and probably very competitive, but are you all still friends?
Okay, yeah, for sure. We love the way that the sports take us now. We have 20 years behind us with motorsport, and especially now with rallycross, and to see the potential of the sport finally get the possibility to show up like place like Hockenheim and do it this way that we can do now, present it for a big crowd. It's good for us all guys to see that, and we are so happy to be a part of it and to follow it closely.
What changes have you been doing throughout the winter to put you on top? Now a win in Portugal and potentially a win today.
Oh, actually, we was working last year to build up the car proper and stay out of most of the time out from the World Championship to prepare ourselves. This year we go flat out, and we prepare about 60 points on the car from last time to this year. So I feel that we are very competitive, but there is still a long way to go. But the start has been so good for us, and it gives us hope, and it gives us also strongness to work hard and to go for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, great to hear from the team managers. Let's have a little listen to what the drivers think about the cars.
Rallycross cars are so special because it's rough, because it's difficult to drive. You have to be aggressive.
When you see flames come out the back and then all 4 wheels lighting up and sliding into the first corner, all touching doors, I think there's nothing, in my opinion, maybe I'm a bit biased, but there's nothing cooler.
600 horsepower, more than 800 in torque, and 3 bars in the turbo boost. A 2-liter engine. It's a monster when you combine it all together.
Yeah, the gravel is always tough in rallycross, and it gets bumpy, and we have big jumps, and we combine that with the tarmac, which is always smooth and it's kind of racing-like. Rallycross is all about the compromise. You'll have to find in which corners can you gain something, which corners can you sacrifice? We see cars from Petter Solberg soft to the Peugeot stiff. So there's a wide range, and basically what lies behind this is a different philosophy of what makes a car quick.
They're 6-speed, sequential gearboxes, so like a motorbike would be up and down, so faster is back, slower is forward, and they have full throttle gear cut, so I don't have to do anything apart from pull the gear.
So crowd waiting for the final. Drivers are still in the paddock. They'll be heading back up shortly to take their positions on the line. Hockenheim ring has been good fun. DTM cars were pretty incredible, very loud. Bit of sideways in the wet, Riku. They look quite tricky to drive.
Yeah, seems to be, but they were still running the slick tires on wet tracks, so I think they have more aero than Formula 1 cars, for example. And TT Cup was interesting as well. I think they had those nice turbo boosts. They have the digital number in the side windows that showed how many boosts you have left for the.
And Toppy was in that as well. How did Toppy get on?
Yeah, Toppy was he was enjoying a lot. I think he needed to retire from the second start, but he was in close to top 10 in the first start, so he liked it a lot. And car seems to be really competitive. It's not like a normal standard touring car. It's more closer to a GT car.
So nice to see some of the World RX drivers doing something else here as well. It was Tanner, Toppy and Anton. Anton Markman's not had a great weekend, has he? I mean, if Portugal, I felt he was unlucky in Portugal. Outbraked himself and ended up upside down in the gravel. But then he's come here and, big mistake on Toppy in day one.
Yeah, seems to be that maybe he's a bit under pressure, because of course it was easier to make it as best as possible in his dad's team, but for this year he kind of turned to be a professional in the Audi team with the Red Bull and with everything included, so he feels a bit more pressure there, and he's doing double series, so he drives the complete TT Cup and the Rallycross together, which keeps him quite busy. So I think hopefully there's not too much to think about at the moment, because he's fast and he proved his speed here, but he makes quite a lot of mistakes at the moment.
He just needs a little reset, I think, doesn't he? We've got two events back to back. He's got about 10 days now before Belgium, and hopefully he can manage to calm himself down. But coming up towards the final now. So these guys, Riku, some of them haven't had much time since semi-final number 2. Quickly back to the paddock, a little bit of re-prep.
Yeah, re-prep, but as you see, they've had time to wash the cars, and they will do their refuel. And as we see Toppy there in the picture, he's warming up the tires quite heavily, because as I said, the grid is in the front of the racetrack, so you can't do the pre-grid there.
Molly is down on the grid, and she is with Rainis Nitish.
Rainis, tell us what's going through your head right now.
Yeah, we have a final in front, but the semi went really well, and I'm ready for fight. All wet now, and it's really hard to hear what you say, but I'm ready.
Thank you.
Good old Rainis. It is very hard for them to hear, of course. They've got like an ear defender inside there, basically like a rally system, so they can hear their spotters up in the tower, so it is hard for them to hear. And of course, a rallycross car is not the quietest car to be sitting and answering questions. I remember when we asked Petter on the grid just before he won the World Championship in Italy, and he said to Neil, I've no idea what you're saying, basically. But Rainis is all smiles, he's ready to go. And 6 cars are on the grid. Looking forward to seeing this one. Petter Solberg is on pole, but Molly is with Toppy Heikkinen.
Toppy, tell us how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, the feeling is quite good. We are on the 5th place right now, and we're trying to catch them and make a good result.
Thanks.
Toppy very focused indeed. Riku, of course, you were his spotter when he was in the GRC. Is he relaxed or is he stressed? What's he like as a driver now?
Yeah, I know the guy pretty well, actually, because I traveled with him so many years, and I can see that he's not on his best at the moment. He's a bit stressed out with he's been struggling with the setups of the car, and maybe he's not fighting for the positions that he would like to do, as he of course he would like to fight for the World Championship. So he's a bit stressed, really focused, and I think he needs a result now.
Well, Molly has caught up with Timmy Hansen down on the grid as well.
Timmy, maybe you can tell us or maybe show us how you prepare for a final.
I don't know, from 6th place after the qualifying we had yesterday, I just thought we have everything to win. I took every single gap that was there, and with a good strategy from the team, we managed to get here. So I go into this final in the same way. We have everything to win, nothing to lose.
Thanks.
Timmy Hansen, all smiles. He does have everything to win. Timmy just scraped through in 12th place after qualifying. He had a 6th, an 8th, a 17th and a 7th. So not his best qualifying performance ever, but all the same, he's there. And, you know, stands after that brilliant performance in the semi-final, qualifies 12th, manages just to scrape through. He's on the back of the grid in the final.
Yeah, and he was close to drop off from the semi-final as well, so he like he said himself, it was amazing strategy from the team, because I think if you have less experience than Kenneth Hansen has, you would have taken him into the Joker earlier, and I think that would have cost him a spot to the final, because they saved the Joker until the last lap and got it there.
Well, let's have a look at the grid then for the final of round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. On the front row, it's Petter Solberg versus Reinis Nitish. Row 2, Nitish's teammate Bakkerud and Robin Larsson, the European Rallycross champion. Row 3, we've got Toby Heikkinen and Timmy Hansen. So we know that grid position 1 has got great grip. We've seen people on the front row struggle in the semi-final. They've not necessarily got away as fast as the poleman has, but of course they do have a nice wide open bit of track down the outside. It's time to get the final underway. Away from the line, the noses of the cars rise. Petter Solberg gets a great start. Reinis Nitish too. Nitish slams the door. Timmy Hansen has come from the back row of the grid. Heikkinen with contact runs wide, but it's Solberg and then Nitish and Hansen in 3rd place. What a start by Timmy.
Great start, amazing start, but Bakkerud did the right way. He couldn't pass Petter, so he just closed the door for the others.
So Nitish then in 2nd, it's Hansen in 3rd place, around the long left hand, a bit of brakes from Petter. Look at Hansen, Hansen's looking really racy here. I can't believe it's like a complete change in performance.
Yeah, I think when the track is drying up now, it's advantage for Timmy. He's doing more and more faster and faster all the time.
Spin for Bakkerud, sorry Riku, spin for Bakkerud just in the front of your picture there. I didn't see whether he got a tap or not. Larsson's gone straight to the Joker lap. I think Bakkerud will do the same, so Bakkerud to the Joker lap. I think that's going to be Bakkerud out though, so Solberg around the left-hander with Nitish and then Hansen. Solberg also, of course, winning the Monster Supercharger Award for making it down to turn 1 first, so great job for him. Monster Energy athlete gets to pick up another one of those Rhino head trophies for his mantelpiece. Well, who's taken Joker then? Larsson has jokered, he's in 4th place. It'll be good to see how far back he is in a moment. Here are your top 3. And Larsson is almost on the back of them already, Riku. On board now.
Nitish also, he's doing some mistakes, and Timmy Hansen is really catching up. He's fast.
I thought I might see Timmy go to the Joker lap there, but they've decided not to, so the top 4 all staying where they are. When Larsson's catching up, would it have been better to Joker just then?
Yeah, I think Toppy and Larsson should have jokered both. Okay, Larsson had, so Toppy is still hanging out there without the Joker lap, so that's a bit of a mistake, of course.
What about Hansen? I mean, Hansen, for me, with Larsson chasing him down, should he get out? I mean, and if Nitish is holding him up?
Yeah, they are quite equal. I think he's not holding, actually, but Larsson is flying behind him, so it's really hard, but I think they are trying to get the same strategy. They know that the Joker is fast, so they save that in the end and see if everybody else makes mistakes.
Well, that section there on the brakes is where Hansen seems to be making up a decent bit of time. He just seems so smooth. The others are using a lot of steering input on the brakes, unbalancing the car. Timmy just gets on the brake and seems to catch up to them. He's close. Heikkinen, that looked like a late decision.
Yeah, a bit, yeah, but as you see. Okay, now, yeah, Toppy made a bit wide there and lost a bit more to Larsson, but at least he has done that now, and now he needs to close the gap to Hansen and Nitish more or less to gain positions, because Larsson has done the Joker already.
So Heikkinen is a long way back. Solberg is a long way out in front. He's just managed to gap them. These conditions, we've seen Solberg in the wet, hasn't looked quite so dominant. Does it level the field a little bit? Oh, Bakkerud's out. Yeah. So Bakkerud has retired.
It was a diff or transmission broken for Bakkerud when he just locked the wheels.
Climbs over the tyre wall, he'll be disappointed. Solberg is halfway to his first World Championship win of his title defence. The World Champion is looking absolutely fantastic here. It's all going to be, I think, about who's going to get 2nd and 3rd place. Larsson's looking pretty strong for a podium here, and you never know. I mean, Toppy could hold on too, but these Hansen and Nittish and Solberg have all got to Joker. I think Solberg's got enough space, but it's these two guys that I think are going to fall into the clutches of the people behind them.
Yeah, seems to be. And Topi's really, I think he's over-driving the car a bit because he's so wide all the time. So he can't catch Larsson at all, and that's of course bad. But Petter is flying in front. Like you said, Petter was so fast in Portugal as well when it was dry, but not too dominant when it was wet, and same here. So when it's drying up, he's just flying away.
Solberg then goes to the Joker lap, so Solberg is the one to blink first from the top three. He slots into the Joker lap. Nittish and Hansen still haven't gone. Solberg's going to come out in front here, I'm absolutely sure of that. So Solberg around the right and then the left. We're on lap 5 out of 6, so they're going to cross the line now. And I think we're going to be heading into the final lap of the race, so they are going to have to Joker here. Larsson, very sideways in the background.
Yeah.
Has he lost ground there?
Yeah, he did a mistake. He did a mistake, and Topi was catching him a bit, but they're not able to catch Timmy, but Timmy haven't done the Joker yet, so it will be really tricky with them.
Solberg then into the right-hander, but it's all about these guys. Nittish following Petter in there, he is in the background, and Hansen too. Nittish and Hansen in second and third place have got to Joker on this lap. Where are they going to come out? Nittish goes left, Hansen goes left, Petter is on the outside. We know Petter's going to come out in front, but is Hansen going to hold on for third, or is Larsson going to get him? Nittish is going to come through in second place. Oh, between Hansen and Larsson is so close. Hansen tries, but he can't do it. Solberg takes the win. The defending champion takes his first win of the season. Larsson Heikkinen in the background, more and more contact.
Yeah.
But it's Nittish and Hansen who managed to get second and third place. Hansen,
Larsson, big mistake for Larsson. He ruined his race there.
He had to try though, didn't he?
Yeah,
he had to
he
try.
had to, but that was a crazy call.
Crazy call then. Riku Tako says crazy call. Larsson desperately trying to get there, and Larsson in fact is stuck in the gravel trap before the final corner. Solberg, the champion, takes his first win of 2015. Great job by him, and looking very, very strong indeed in the dry. He'll be hoping that the wet weather doesn't follow us for the rest of the season, because when it's dry, he's looking like he's got that champion's advantage. Here's the race result then. Petter Solberg from Reinis Nittish and Timmy Hansen. Timmy almost fired off by Larsson on the last lap, but he got away with it. Heikkinen in fourth, Larsson fifth, and Andreas Backerud in sixth. DNFs for Larsson and Backerud. Well, Molly is up in the Arn Spotter's tower. The crowd are on their feet, and she is with the spotter for Petter Solberg.
So I'm here with a very happy Norwegian spotter. Tell us what the guy in the car said.
He was just shouting, basically, screaming. No, it's been, it's been very tough in Portugal. We had the small, we were not on the pace really with the time because of the wet conditions. This weekend have been changing a lot, the conditions. Now it's still dry, but the forecast is rain, so I think we did a very good choice with the setup and the tires. And the whole thing worked perfect today, so nothing to complain about, and everybody does a perfect job, and then you get the result.
What does this mean for the team?
For the team, it's a big, what should I say? Keep the the motivation now will go up, and everybody will work even harder. But after a long, since December or something, people and the mechanics and everybody have been flat out giving everything to achieve this victory and also to fight for the championship. So this means a lot to the team, and it's a big motivation for us.
Enjoy it, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, Petter Solberg hanging out of the side of the car, 1 foot on the roll cage, 1 foot on the door, and waving to the crowd, who went the most mental I think they've gone all weekend. He's up on the roof. I don't think he's going to ruin it. He's not going to jump up and down. He only does that when he gets 3 in a row. But absolutely brilliant, brilliant job by Petter Solberg. The World Rallycross champion takes his first victory of the 2015 campaign. Well, the crowd can see the big screen, so they're seeing what you're seeing. Petter Solberg looking very, very happy indeed. Great job for the SDRX driver. He's now a Monster Energy athlete, and that's some of the guys from Monster Energy down there to greet him, so they'll be very, very pleased with that. Great signing. They needed somebody to beat some of those other energy drinks, didn't they? And in Petter Solberg, they've chosen the right guy. Good drive, Riku.
Great drive, yeah. Mr. Hollywood is back. I think it was a big relief for him, because I think he had a flu last weekend, right? He was in a fever, so he was not on the pace. And once it was wet there, he needed to concentrate more, and it was a tough race for him. But yeah, he's on the pace now, flying.
Well, we're going to have a little look back at Timmy Hansen's start in the final. So have a look at this, Riku. What did he do so well here to manage to get away? Look at this. You can see him. He glances to the left.
He just took it nicely off from the grid and was able to close the door from the other. So that's what you need to do when you start from the back and from the outside line. You just need to try to get at least half a car length to get the door closed.
Of the guys who we spoke to on the grid, he just looked so relaxed. He was all smiles. He said kind of they've got nothing to lose. And does that put you in a better frame of mind for the race?
Maybe, because he nearly survived to the semi-finals and nearly survived the finals. So I think it kind of he won already, kind of. So everything was extra what he got. But when Topi was a bit stressed out there, because he thinks he should be there, and he was a bit disappointed with the pace, and same with Nitis. So I think Timmy came out with a nice smile, and that paid off. A good start.
Great start indeed. No one could get near to Petter Solberg up the front. Nitis and Hansen, in fact, it was those three who ended up on the podium. Behind them, Backerud. We don't know what happened to Backerud. We didn't see it, did we? Just stopped on the straight. So it must have been a technical. Well, here's the spin. So do you think maybe a technical issue there,
I
Riku?
think it must lock the rear diff or something, because it just locks the wheels and keep it locked. So it must be a technical problem for sure.
So disappointment for Backerud with a retirement. Larsson didn't make it to the final corner either, but great results for Hockenheim fourth, Hansen third, Nitis second, and Petter Solberg in first. Where's Larsson's car being recovered? But Molly is down in the holding area, and hopefully she'll have with her a very excited Petter Solberg.
Petter Solberg, Mr. Hollywood, unbelievable drive. Tell us how tough that was.
Seriously, it's been a very, very long weekend. We're driving a little bit each day at the DTM in Hockenheim. It's been great, good atmosphere. But you know, when you build up this nervousity over a long time, it's bad. You know, I like to go in and do everything straight away, and I've been very nervous. Did the semi-final, had a very good start. I was pushed in the first corner, so I think, yeah. Then I was pushing, and then I actually had a puncture. So I was very lucky. So I drove very calm and tried to be smart. Did some setup changes in a very short time, in 10 minutes before the final, and then I just was thinking, bloody hell, you know, it must be possible, as long as people are a little bit clever to not push me out in the first corner. So, but it worked well, and I pushed on, and I got a bigger and bigger gap, and at the end I calmed down a little bit. So no, you know, that's why I'm saying you're one of the best drivers, to be honest with you, that thinks when they drive. So.
Petter, you're a two-time world champion. Does the nervousness never go away?
Never, you know. I tell you, rallycross, it's very, very stressful. A lot of adrenaline in a very short time. And honestly, this is what I need to keep alive and be happy. And that's why I like rallycross. You know, maximum attack, 110% flat out, and winning at the same time is great. And I think I'm leading the World Championship with more now. So, but you know, everything can happen.
Enjoy it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, what a difference a week makes. He barely had a word to say last weekend because he wasn't feeling so well. He'll be feeling a lot better after a win. Here are the World Championship standings after round two. It's Petter Solberg, the champion, who leads the standings again. Johan Kristoffersen holds on to second. Timmy Hansen looking good in third on the same points as Backerud. Nitis is just behind him. Topi is down in sixth place. Genet in seventh. Robin Larsson in eighth. On to page two, we've got PG Anderson and Liam Doran in top 10. Tanner Faust in 11th place with that one-off drive, and Ekstrom in 12th, despite the fact that he hasn't raced here this weekend. Molly is down in the holding area, and she has with her Reinis Nitis.
Reinis, fantastic second place. How are you feeling?
Oh, brilliant. My heart is like, you know, here in Hockenheim, Sachs Arena, a lot of spectators, so long race, and I'm second. Brilliant feeling, better in front, he is fast, but I have to push a little bit more because second is not enough for me. Hard race, but I'm really happy.
Has the track been good for you in your car?
Yeah, the Osberg MSC team did a brilliant job and make a good car for me, and it was easy to drive, and I in a semi-final and did the fastest lap, and I'm happy about that. We are growing and we are so close to be there.
Enjoy it, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Rainy Snitch is very pleased with the second place, so we're going to have a little look back at that last lap incident between Timmy Hansen and Robin Larsson. So this was on the Joker lap merge, and hopefully we should be able to see what happened. So this was down in towards the Joker lap, Riku.
Yeah, I charged Larsson quite heavily already about this, because Timmy takes a Joker super fast, no problems at all.
It's close on the merge, isn't it? Larsson coming in now, and I mean, I think he has to go for it. He's up the inside, but
yeah, but he didn't brake at all for that corner, and you need to brake for the right-hander. If Timmy would have not been there, he would go straight over it. So I think that's something you can't do like that, and he ruined some points.
He'd have been in the gravel either way. Let's go and have a chat with Timmy Hansen.
Timmy Hansen, fantastic third place. A bit of a difficult day yesterday. How did you fight back?
Yeah, I don't know. We qualified 12th yesterday. We didn't have the speed at all. So to come back to a podium feels absolutely undescribable. This podium is for my family and for all the team who kept the spirit even though it was difficult yesterday. And we proved we can come back. It's unbelievable.
You have been a circuit racer for a long time. Does that help you here, give you an advantage?
No, not at all, it seems like. We were really slow yesterday, to be honest, and we didn't know what was wrong. But we did some big changes overnight. Everyone believed in what we did, and we kept some kind of happy spirit anyway. We woke up today, everyone was saying good luck, and we did it.
How much does it mean to you that the team never gives up?
Maybe this third place is the most emotional finish I've ever had, because this was something out of the ordinary.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's have a look at the Teams Championship standings then after round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. SDRX are leading. Great job by them. It's Ford OMSC in second, and Team Peugeot Hansen are down to third. VW Team Sweden, VW Markland and EKS. World RX Team Austria, good weekend for them here as well, and then Munich Motorsport in 8th. I think a lot of entertainment for the crowd, Riku. Good weekend?
Yeah, good weekends. Like, I think it was one of the most aggressive driving we have ever seen, and like Petter told a few times that they need to repair so many bumpers throughout the weekend all the time.
Riku Tako, thank you very much for joining us this weekend. It's been great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Well, here is some of the action from a frantic weekend at Hockenheim. Timers Janov rolled the car and carried on. Linnerud ended up in the barrier. Somehow he managed to hold on to it. Timmy Hansen said himself he hasn't been that quick this weekend. Somehow he's dragged himself up from 12th, made it through to the semi and through to the final. That was on board with him yesterday when Bakkerud managed to beat him. But Hansen found some form at the important time today. Absolutely great job by him. Heikkinen made it through to the final, but 4th. Larsson as well behind him. Larsson tried for 3rd at the final corner, but the move probably wasn't on. He ended up in the gravel trap, and that's where we think he'd have been if Timmy Hansen wasn't there anyway. Peter Solberg out front. Absolutely great job by him. Not so good on day 1. He was 16th and 2nd on day 1, but on day 2, he won both the heats. Said it's been strange, only driving a little bit each day, but he saw the checker flag quite a lot. And he's seen it today, which is the most important time. He takes the win in round 2. This was him against his teammate Liam Doran. We had more contact down at turn 1. The track's been fantastic here. It's given us some absolutely brilliant action all weekend long. Andreas Bakkerud there retired from the final. Liam Doran, heartbreak today when it looked like he was on to make it through to the semi-final. He retired with a technical issue. But the British bomb is back, and we'll look forward to seeing more from him through the course of the season. Reini Snittish had an absolutely fantastic start, dry on the inside for the semi-finals. That looked like it was the place to be. Johan Kristoffersson, brilliant driving by him this weekend, but just made one mistake. And Timmy Hansen pounced and managed to grab that last space to go through to the final. Crowds in the background, you can see from DTM this weekend have been introduced to some new muddy action from the World Rallycross Championship. Gravel being fired up everywhere. It's been great fun. On board on the tarmac section, a look at Backerud, a look at all the action for this weekend. We hope you've enjoyed it. Petter Solberg, the world champion, has taken his first win of the season and he's at the top of the standings. Can anyone stop him? We'll see you next week, 2 weeks' time at Mete in Belgium.